Welcome to A Better You podcast. Let's start today to develop a better you. This podcast takes on life's challenges and obstacles, such as overcoming addictions, behaviors, midlife career changes, to keeping your family together. The show that gives you take-home assignments to overcome obstacles of the week. Receive godly wisdom for a more fulfilling and purpose-driven life with Anthony McFarland. Let's get started with crafting a better you.
Question: how do we stop ourselves from thinking negative thoughts if we don't even realize it's happening? If we don't realize that we have them, how do we stop negative thinking? The answer is, simply put, train your brain. At one point, we trained our brains, whether you realize it or not, to think the way that they do. The good news is that we can retrain ourselves to think positively. It's been said that humans on average can have anywhere from 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day, if not more. Pretty fascinating, right? When you think about it. I mean, wow. Amazing. Here's the issue. Some speculate that an astounding 80% of our thoughts are negative, and you train your brain to have more negative thoughts over positive thoughts. The conversation that you and I sometimes have in our minds are not good conversations. The conversations you have with yourself have a direct impact on how you feel and how you behave. If your self-talk is filled with self-doubt, harsh criticism, and catastrophic predictions about your tomorrow, about next week, then you'll struggle in life. You'll struggle to reach your goals. You'll struggle to get on that plateau that you so desire to be on, so that you can live the life that you so desire to live. But you don't have to let a pessimistic outlook, shall I say, or foreboding inner monologue hold you back. I shared that with you on last week's podcast. You can train your brain to think differently. According to Loretta Bruin, which is a PhD, she's the author of The Science of Positivity and Habits of a Happy Brain. And she makes this quote: "Our brain is not designed to create happiness. As much as we wish it were so, our brain evolved to promote survival. It saves the happy chemicals, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, for opportunities to meet a survival need, and only releases them in short spurts, which are quickly metabolized. So this motivates us to keep taking steps that stimulate our happy chemicals." I thought that was really interesting. You see, the transformation of life comes about, as the Apostle Paul declares, through the renewal of the mind, of your thinking. Now, before we move on, make sure you click the like, subscribe, and follow this podcast. I'd like to hear back from you. I'd like to know that this podcast is benefiting you in some type of way. So write a comment in the box and share the podcast with your friends, and connect with me also on my YouTube page, Anthony McFarland channel, where you can find more content. I want to connect with you.
Are you excited about learning and growing as an individual, entrepreneur, leader in ministry, or as a business owner? LAC offers online courses and classes with topics ranging from personal development, business and leadership training, biblical studies, and spiritual enrichment. It's e-learning tools at your fingertips through our special audio, video, PowerPoint, and webinar sessions. Why choose liftadvancementcenter.com? 24/7 access. Learn at your own pace. 100% online. 4 to 7 week courses with certificate offered. Access to personal development classes and video library. Take courses anywhere in the world. New topic weekly. We offer 2 different cost-effective, unheard-of monthly memberships with all access to classes. Go to liftadvancementcenter.com. Free content available when you register today.
Now, let's get back to our topic today, how to train yourself to think differently. I want to share with you a few tips to make sure you're using and managing your whether it's 12,000 to 40,000 or 70,000 thoughts each day in a positive manner from here on out. The first thing that you have to do, again, this is part 2 of last week, is you have to really observe your thoughts. Even if it's just for 10 minutes, maybe in the morning, at the beginning of the morning, or noontime, lunchtime, when you take a break, your break at work, or you take out some time to yourself in the middle of the day. Observe your thoughts. What you need to understand is that you can't fix a problem you don't know about. And so when you start to observe your thoughts, you're starting to observe your thinking. And we have to be still enough to be able to observe our thinking. And so once you observe your thinking, you'll know where to start at. You'll be able to identify if you have good, bad, or indifferent thoughts. Now, the next thing that you need to do, and I'm going to go back to the beginning of the day, is you need to choose a mantra for the day or a mantra for the week. A mantra is simply a sacred syllable, word, or a set of words that have spiritual potency, that'll have an impact on your spirit man. Are you following me? So words are the result of thoughts, and I know that you know that, or at least I like to be presumptuous and think that you know that. A word held back could keep a person from hope, faith, affirmation, or it could keep them from scarring a loved one, a friend, a child. It can keep us from building a wall, separating friends. Words are powerful. The Bible is full of that message. The whole universe came into being because God spoke the words. God spoke words and they came to life. God's written word in the form of scripture is central to his ongoing communication with people today. Jesus himself, God's ultimate form of communication, is described as what? The Word of God. And the Bible is clear that our words are important. Many verses instruct us in the importance of words spoken as a source of life and encouragement. So again, I want you to really get this. Words are the result of thoughts. And an uncontrolled thought will create life-changing words. So in the morning, decide on a mantra, or for the week, a mantra that you'll literally eat. You'll eat it in silence to yourself, and throughout the day, keep reminding yourself, kind of chewing on it, meditating on that new mantra, those words. Maybe it's something as simple as, today is going to be the best day I ever lived. Or, today I'm going to be the happiest person alive. Or maybe you come up with a longer statement, how greatness lives on the inside of me because God created me. See, you have to learn how to think the thoughts and speak those life-giving words over your life. So using a mantra or a new statement of faith, so to speak, will not only give you something positive to think about, but it also takes up time your brain might otherwise use for negative, self-defeating, or projecting thoughts. The next thing that you want to do is transform a negative into a positive. You have to learn how to transform a negative into a positive, right? So that's not just dealing with words, but just life in general. All of us, I'm going to say it again, all of us have one thought that dominates our mind. For some, it's that extra 10 pounds we've been, working diligently to get off. For others, it's finances that can weigh us down. Take the main issue and turn it into an affirmation. Instead of focusing on the extra weight, say to yourself, I'm beautiful just the way that I am, but I'm working on a better me. No, it won't make that pesky 10 pounds come off, but it will give you the confidence and motivation to stick with your regimen. Are you following me? As opposed to allowing the negative thoughts to come in that would discourage you from working on managing your finances and the sacrifice that's required to reposition yourself, reposition your finances, create a better credit score. Are you following me? And then the next thing is, and this is a big one. Most people haven't heard of this, but I'm telling you, it is powerful. And I want you to do this today. Make a gratitude list. On your today, sit down with a piece of paper and come up with 5 things you're grateful for. But I'm telling you, if you're not careful, you can just think of you can allow your mind to think of everything that's not right, everybody that's not right, everything that isn't going in your favor. Is the AC in your car the perfect remedy for the summer heat? Just a question. Are you reading a good book? Believe it or not, all these things and more are something to be grateful for. So making a gratitude list can alter your mood and keep you focused on the positive in life. So as opposed to walking outside and saying how hot it is, getting in the car and complaining about how hot it is in the car, be thankful that you have an AC to cut on, air conditioning unit to cut on. And if you're listening to this and it's cold where you're at, be grateful that you have a heater to cut on in your home versus complaining about how cold it is and how your bones hurt. Get next to the fire and thank God that you have life. You follow me? So the good news is that you can actually train your mind and thoughts to become more positive through the various things that I've shared with you today, as well as a few more takeaways that I want you to write down before we close this podcast. Again, I already shared with you, observe your thoughts, right? Another thing that I want to encourage you to do is scan for 3 daily positives. In the morning, in the noon, and the evening, write down, journal it, write in a book something positive. Scan for positives, okay? Take out time. Oftentimes, what you want to happen for yourself, you need to make happen for somebody else. Give somebody a shout out. Text them and let them know, hey, I think the world of you. I think you're the best. Say something, speak something positive into somebody else's life. What are you saying? I'm saying to you, help others. The very thing that you want, the very thing that you desire to change in your life, be that change agent for somebody else's life. And then surround yourself with people who are optimistic, people who are positive, people who have your answer and not your problem. Sometimes the reason that we can't change our thinking is because of those who are steeped in negativity that we constantly subject ourselves to. So it's your responsibility to look after your mind. Once you start looking after your mind, then you'll start to create even a healthier body, believe it or not. So purpose to retrain your thinking And you'll start, whether you realize it or not, some inner healing that needs to take place. Why? Because you're thinking on those things which are so lovely and of good report. You're thinking on things that you can be grateful about, which causes a positive in your life and not a negative. It's not thought. You're choosing to think those thoughts that are bright, that are full of light. Are you following what I'm saying? That are full of righteousness, peace, joy. Are you following me? So listen, I hope you've enjoyed this podcast. I want to hear from you. As I said earlier, I want some of your personal takeaways. I want you to share with me what your personal takeaways were from this podcast and how you've applied these principles to your life. You can also email me today at Anthony, and that's Anthony at abetteryoupodcast.com. Anthony at abetteryoupodcast.com. Join me next week as I continue to help you create a better you. God bless you. Till the next time.
Thank you for tuning into A Better You program with Anthony McFarland.